It's not fucking way it's about. Please say you fuck well. Please say you fuck well. It's your mind, it's your mind, it's your mind. Nobody bothers me.
Oh, welcome back, everybody. Episode 298, 8 o'clock on the 29th of November. Welcome back, everybody. Saturday night. Just another Saturday in 2025. I'm glad you could all join me if you're watching live or if you're watching later. Don't forget, there's all the links in the description. Hopefully I'm coming through loud and clear. We had some problems last time. So welcome, everybody. Hello, Fernicar in the chat. Battlecruiser operational, liked and subscribed. Now, where were we? So, lots of stuff to talk about. I have my top notes of the week. It's been a crazy week. I tried to take a week off. Big mistake. I spent most of the week working on AI stuff. Just can't get away from it, you know? Hello, Dominic. Welcome to the show. So glad you could make it. Same goes to everybody. I know we have a little group here, and I'm very proud of everybody that comes along and shares with us. Like I said, we've been sitting around in the Discord working on all kinds of stuff. I got a bunch of cool stuff to show you and a bunch of cool stuff to talk about. So I would say the top notes of the week would probably be Google Gemini 3. It came out. It's really good. Also, Nano Banana Pro continues to excel in almost every way possible. Very impressive, but don't be fooled by their upscaling. 2K is probably about optimal, I'd say, for that model. You should probably rely on your own upscaling pipeline. That's my advice. Also, you can do a LoRa on your upscale pipeline and get the characters back if that's an issue for you. So that's a nice little tip. Also, Flux 2 came out. Can you believe it? 2 new image models in 1 week. Unbelievable. And then just to sort of, well, there was also another one actually called Z Image Turbo, which is based on Flux. It's also very good. Okay. Lacks an IP adapter at the moment though. So I grumble. But very nice and lightweight, which is surprising. It runs on under 8 gigabytes, which is something Flux couldn't. So don't forget to look into that. New workflows are all up on the workflows pack. You can see it on the screen right here at github.com/mushroomfleet. That's Mushroom Fleet with the capital M and the capital F. You'll find the links everywhere. The best place to go for links, though, of course, is my scuffedepoch.com website. And we're going to take a look quick at Vestige, but not before we finish, because like I said, after Flux 2 came out, there's more. Opus 4.5 came out. And so we're going to be taking a look at Claude Desktop and the integration of Claude Code. We were looking at Claude Code on web, which is nice because it can do all the work for you straight in the GitHub repo. But this is even better and actually might replace Klein, which is kind of crazy to say, but that's the way it be. It turns out that Klein's actually quite expensive when compared to using Claude Code. And so you get I've been getting a 70% saving, but obviously it depends how you use it, which basically means that it's cheaper to just use Anthropic, which is funny. It's funny. Didn't see that one coming. Because the thing is, Anti-Gravity also came out recently, which is the VS Code fork from Google. And it's really good, but Claude Code for desktop just probably made it obsolete. I mean, I suppose it depends, if you're into Google and you like Google. I use the Google API for advanced Nano Banana apps. So some of my careless apps use advanced Nano Banana. But anyway, enough of all that. Let's see what the news says today, because we have our automated news platform over at vestig.originai.com. So what have we got then? Probably a bunch of stuff I just said. So under image generation, what do we got today? These come out every day. I'm not going to read them in full. Yeah, everything that I've just been talking about. Nano Banana Pro and Flux 2 push text to image boundaries. So Nano Banana is revolutioning image editing and realism, which is true. I got some cool projects to show you and workflows to share on that line. In fact, have we got one right here? No, that's Hunyan 1.5. See, there's another one that came out, another new video model. It's just endless. This week has been every day, as predicted by myself. There's been a new big release from a big major company every day. And it's going to be multiple soon, guys, so get ready for that. So anyway, Flux 2 emerges. Okay, I've released some new custom nodes for Flux 2 because I've been doing some research lately with JSON structured prompting. It's much more precise and allows for a great variety of use, and I've made a whole bunch of custom nodes which exploit that, and then I've also made some agents which either tell you how to fill in my nodes, which is more precise and offers a little bit more variation programmatically, or to just dream the JSON inside the hologram of whatever model you're using. So essentially just straight to JSON. But it's done in such a way that it'll come out formatted for Flux 2. They released a handbook on it, you see. So I went ahead and reverse engineered that into an agent and a bunch of custom nodes. You can get them all on my GitHub. We'll take a look at that in a bit. But the main point is that you can use the structured prompts, not just with Flux 2, but with Nano Banana, which is actually huge. And I might be able to expose more stuff to hook into. So obviously it's going to talk about a bunch of other stuff. What else have we got, Vestig? LLM news, GPT, Claude. It's going to talk about Opus, regulation. The ghost of Christmas past or Christmas future. Probably both. So we've got the feds want control. Oh dear. So there are now 38 of 50 states enacted more than 100 laws targeting everything from deepfakes to algorithmic bias in hiring. Okay, it's just AI safety though, don't be too scared. What's this? A 600 billion AI abundance dividend. Okay, it's not too bad. You want to read some, if I had more time, we'd read this more, but I just want to sort of be like, hey, look, this thing is here, because I'll be using it to draw attention to interesting stuff. Billions in lobbying to shape AI law. Well, there you go, see? You can talk about the scarediness, but sometimes a lot of money makes them all feel safe again. We'll see how it goes. Looking at the next one. Comfy UI's November surge. So yes, Comfy Cloud has been seeing huge improvements, and also you can see Flux 2 already on dev, so the open weights are available, and we have run them, and I have given out the new Foda 2 Flux workflow pack is actually taking form. There's a whole bunch of new workflows in there at the moment. 1.2.1, we all know about that, guys. See, a lot of this stuff we're already aware of. So apparently stable video diffusion with updates to nodes like frame interpolation. Oh really? Well, we know about that. We know about most of this stuff. Hey Colin, thanks for the retweet over on the Twitter. I do appreciate the support, mate. It's a bit of a ghost town for me over there. I don't do enough. I should probably do like a Twitter space hangout every week or something. I'm trying to get more active over Christmas, so we'll be doing stuff over there. You're welcome to join. But yeah, thanks again. So what other articles? These are all from today as well, by the way, guys. Voice AI Unleashed. Video generation, the rise of Pika and Luma. These are familiar places that we've been before. OpenAI Sora 2, new styles, surge in demand and imposed limits. See, can't wait to get a better video model. I reckon this Christmas is going to be, I reckon it's going to happen, guys. Because 1.5 is nice, but it's got some weird issues when you have to run it with such heavy quantization. So I wonder if we get a new, I wonder if LTX2 maybe, I don't know. It's hard to tell. But like I said, there are Pika and Luma have had updates, so just raising the flag, as they say, raising the flag. If you want to go back and check them out again, I'm sure they'll give you some free stuff. So that's enough news. Don't forget, scuffedepoch.com, all the stuff. It's the easiest way. If you oh, where's that thing that Johnson was going on about? Should be a link to it from Scuffed. So the news, the radio, the gallery, and the more. I've actually optimized the gallery, guys. I'm sorry. When I first made it, I was very focused on making the automation, so I didn't really pay much attention to the fact that it was 4K thumbnails. Everything was 4K. So, you know, now what we've done is we've solved it. I haven't edited these. This is totally automated, by the way. So can you believe that one's bad, right? But to be honest, you know, I haven't had to curate. Like, some of them even went to the wrong category. Do you see what I mean when I was testing it? So the consistency is there. Like, this weirdness is because I had a bit of Geiger in the mix on these. So it's tried to turn her into a bit of a xenomorph a little bit. Here we were doing a bit of watercolor stuff. So they look a bit like that. Very nice, very nice. You download them, full size. But yeah, they came out good. But I haven't added any of the new stuff from all of the Flux 2 and Banana Banana. I haven't added any of those yet, so they'll be added very soon. But yeah, basically the automatic gallery is still working. I just, for some reason, it doesn't update itself. I have to go in and do it myself. It's funny, all the images are there, everything works, but for some reason that one little last bit, so I've probably got to just polish that. But anyway, that's that one. Few updates on the main website. We've added links for Vestig, LLMBC and History Today. Again, the scheduling on History Today doesn't really work as well. See, what I did was every single site was done with a completely different method, and I was evaluating the reliability of the process. And it seems like having the agent run the script from inside the server is the most reliable, because all of the automatic websites I've done so far, if there's an agent in there running in Python on the server, if he's doing the script at the end to update the website, it works. If you have an external script, which is like just running an update every hour, that is a bit less reliable. You can see it working in the logs, but it doesn't work. And I think it's something to do with permissions. I think that when the agent creates all the files on the server, that's correct. But then when the files have come from somewhere else, there's additional things that need to be done. It's just a scripting problem I'm sure I'll solve. But just to give you an idea, so there's nothing until, yeah, but normally it would look like this. We would have today in tech history, and it's going to give us a whole bunch of cool historical echoes from the perspective of tech, going back 100 and 200 years, and then eventually it should fill the calendar. But as you can see, it ran when I built it, and it ran when I tested it, and never since. So I've been on holiday, guys, what can I say? And when I say holiday, I've just been testing a new model every day like normal, because what, I'm not going to do it? Of course I'm going to do it. So anyway, LLMBC was my attempt at making a fully automated, like, serious news website. You know what I mean? It's not like totally straight or anything, but it's got consistent art style for each category. It's using, it actually uses Nano Banana 2.5 to save money. It's only 3 cents per image. But Nano Banana Pro would make this, so if I had a bigger budget for a site like this, you'd use Pro, and the images wouldn't have any spelling mistakes. Everything would just be better. That's the only way you can say it. But anyway, that doesn't matter. The point is, it does news, sport, business, technology, science, entertainment, health and world, but it only posts every 2 days, because the thing is, he's so good, he'll just hit the same news twice. So I find that after 2 days, the news cycle has changed. So like if I go to news, you know, some of this artwork is cracking as well. It's pretty good. But anyway, is this actually updated? Yeah, how come there's only been 2 sports articles? Maybe there's only 1 a week? Yeah, there's only 1 a week. Okay. But anyway, like I said, this is another fully automated news site. I'm just going to leave it running. It costs me, I think, less than $10 a month to run. I think it's something like $5 or $6 a month to run this site. And I did it really to demonstrate automation. So I'll be open sourcing the code once I've like white labeled it. You see what I mean? Because I think that this is kind of like really quite empowering, because if you want to run like an info site for your organization, you don't need anyone to do it. You can have it fully automated. So this is 100% autonomous. There's no one here. I don't have to come in and do an update. There's no approval. And you might think, well, does that cost include hosting? No. And I'll tell you why it doesn't include hosting. Because I have 60 websites on my hosting. So if I was to take the hosting contract, which is I think about $20 a month for the server, you got to divide that by 60. Do you see what I mean? And then it becomes like trivial. It's a trivial cost. You see what I mean? By the time you have... That's the thing. If you only have one website, it's expensive. But here's the thing, guys. We make websites like we write text files. Do you know what I mean? Because of the advances in AI, a text file is a website now. So, you know, with one prompt, right? So it's sort of like, the ability to host infinite subdomains like this, it splits the code base out so that you don't have one giant website. You have all these different websites that hopefully share the same style identity. So you can see this is lmbc.originai.com. So it is a fully standalone website, but it's just on one domain name. So I only pay whatever it is, $10 a year for the actual domain, and then $20 a month for the server, and you've got 60, like I said, 60 websites. Yeah, but good question, Colin. Good question. But yeah. So really, the cost is the images. The actual news job costs nothing. It's like 2.5 cents per post. But then the banana is 2.5 as well. So you're looking at 5 or 6 cents rounding up the change for each post. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 categories. So it's 8 times 6. And then it does post every other day. You know, you do the math, you work it out. It's cheap. When you think about how much a cup of coffee or a Big Mac is at McDonald's these days, it's incredibly cheap. You know, you're talking, it's pennies on the dollar doesn't cover this, you know. Well, how much does it cost to run a news website, you know? I mean, how much would you have to pay someone just to research a single article, not even to have it posted? So I do think it's an interesting way of doing things. It can be applied in lots of different ways. But yeah, I've got lots of different ways of doing automatic websites at the moment. So anyway, moving on. The games site has been updated. So my Synth Arcade is not changed. I just changed the logos, guys. But we did add new games. We've got Gork, which is celebrating the Zork code release. We'll take a look at that in just a second. We've also got the Careless TRPG, which uses my tower text adventure. You can add your own system prompts and key in your own adventure, I think. Oh no, it's got adjustable probability, so you can make it super easy and just do your own thing. We've got the Idle Vibe Coder game, which is actually pretty solid. We'll have a look at that. There it is. Idle Ace Commander with the 3D battles. We might take a look at that. I think I've already showed that. Oh, we've got Space Blast. Right, we'll take a look at these real quick. So Idle Vibe Coder is exactly what you would think it is. It's an Idle Vibe Coder. So let's do some Idle Vibe coding, guys. We're going to run some clicker games. We're going to complete the test. Come on, guys, let's get it shipped. Buy an assistant, 2 assistants. See, click. Okay, idle clicker, but like vibe code. Oh no! I got a hardware failure now. If I get the quick fix, it's going to get more expensive. If I get the premium fix, it will always get, you know, there's like a stability factor, see? I'm going to pay, mate, I'll pay. Get the big fix. Invest in your future. Oh crap, there's a dependency conflict. This won't progress. I'm wasting time with these dependency conflicts. Always with the NPM. I gotta get the native JS again. Hang on, guys. I'll get there. And then also, you get paid in crypto, which can be up or down depending on randomness. So, as you can see, there is an up and a down. Up means crypto is up. That's how much cash you have. So when you complete your project, if crypto happens to go down, up, down. Crypto was down on the day I got paid. Damn. So you see, it's got silly little mini games in it. There's a fatigue, and you eventually have to go to sleep. Okay. This doesn't have any AI yet. My plan is to keep it fully not AI. Oh yeah, check out the HoloFS reference down here. You got your holographic file system. You can actually have a look in there and see there's tests in there. So it's kind of cool, guys. But yeah, what's that, Fernie? Just the fact we can get TRPG that's careless. It's magic. Indeed. Well, like I said, what I want to do with these zeros, I want to give you control of your keys, and we're going to make it even easier. We got the passport system coming. But the plan for Idle Vibe Tycoon, there's going to be Idle Vibe Tycoon 2, which will have Grok, and there'll be a storyline, so that every time you go across a day, you get to make a choice, and it will generate your narrative with chapters in a similar way to how I did the next game we'll look at real quick. You can play all of these, they're all live. This is your typical clicker situation. But at the moment, there's no, you just go through time and you just make lots of money. There's no narrative, right? The plan is to attach fatigue to a narrative. Okay. So then there's you got to pay rent, stuff happens, and the cash flow, and then you can actually lose. But anyway, at the moment, it just goes and goes and goes and goes. New game will just delete everything and start again for you. And just uses log scale stuff. But this is just a cool vibe coding game, which is fun. So the next one is Idle Ace Commander. Teaches you all of the stuff. I'm just going to skip through here because you can read that. Do I have a key? I don't have a key. So most of these use open router keys. So, should we put text to speech? Microsoft George? Oh, you won't be able to hear it. You won't be able to hear it anyway. So General Martin would talk to you. But anyway, this is also an idle clicker game, but with a bit of a twist. So, I never finished the combat. Fernicar finished it. He did a really good job, and I want to try and collaborate to try and either make a 2, which has the better graphics, just like before, or just improve this one. We'll see what happens. But as you can see, you've got a score, you've got credits, you've got research, you can save. Is that actually save? And so anyway, you can spend your stuff on upgrades. We could upgrade. We got two planes, so I've only got 400 left now. You can also train your pilots. Is it letting me train? I don't know, I can't tell. But anyway, we launch a mission, and it's going to communicate with General Martin. And he's going to tell me, oh, we're going to Pacific Theater. This is like Ace Combat Clicker, That was the idea. And you're Ace Commander. You're not the pilot, you're the commander. So you watch them off on the mission, and then you get this. Now, Fernie made it super cool where they were actually planes and they were actually flying around. Mine just kind of rotate and eventually explode. It's more of a radar feel. But he actually had a nice 3D simulation, which had you see how they're just dropping bullets when they shoot right now? But that does mean they made a hit, because they don't shoot unless they hit. It's just, see, direct hit. You can just about, no, my music's in the way. Okay, so a little bit like XCOM or a Football Manager, And it does the GPT to give you new information each time. So it's not just like the same text, it's different text, basically. It's just another experimental integration, for LLM, basically. So this is like a Football Manager meets Idle Clicker with planes, flying missions, and then obviously the difficulty ramps up. So if you don't invest, it's like XCOM. If you don't invest tactically, you end up getting toasted by the enemies because they will scale up over missions. So that's what happens, And you end up with a high score, and you have to kind of manage your money just to limit it. The one thing that was missing from here, because the thing is I made the missions to be the clicker, if you see what I mean. So every time you do a mission, it's like doing the click. So it's a funny little hybrid. Fernie says about his plane simulation in the chat, to be fair, AI has to figure it out, else it's like cheating to help the AI, like the live show focuses to show as possible. Yeah, exactly, yeah, to be fair. Okay. So anyway, on to the next one. This is a little bit more traditional, but I do think there's still AI though, isn't there? Is there no AI? Oh yeah, that's the second one. Oh. Yeah, there's no, it's just squares. Whoa. 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 I want to get to the boss. No, don't get shot. I should really put like an overheat on the gun, but it's not, I don't remember there being that sort of thing. Oh no! Yeah, I think we made like a sequel that isn't finished, where it generates the textures when you start the game, so the boss is always different. But I wasn't happy with the output. Oh shit! It's the boss. Don't kill me! No! 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 Yes, we beat the boss. Level 2. What the? What? Okay. Oh no, the enemies are harder and stuff. And there's more of them. Ow. They take more damage. No! Whoa, what the heck were they? Oh my gosh. I don't think I've ever actually got this far before. It'll probably crash. Oh my god, a power-up? No way. I've never even seen one before. I think that was supposed to be a heart. Whoa. Those enemies come past so fast. Whoa, I think they're getting faster. Oh, mate, no. Ah. Ah. Yeah, new high score. Alright, die. Just die. I can't die. There we go. 120,000. Beat my score. Anyway, that was fun. So, yeah, was I practicing? No, I think I'm just not on a laggy computer. That's probably why I was getting wrecked, because the laptop latency. I'm on a good computer, so I got no latency problem. Suddenly it's actually doing what I want. Isn't that funny? Anyway, it turns out vibe code's tied to frame rate. Whoops. Okay. So yeah, like I said, Gork time. Is it Gork time? Not yet. Almost. Substacks. We got the Substacks. We talked about that. Yes, there's a Discord join link on the main page. Okay, so the new Careless stuff that came out recently. I'm not going to show it all, but we've got Careless Tracker for TV shows, Careless Galaxy for evaluating inputs and outputs. But I'll be honest, I think that the new models broke it, because when we tested all the previous models, they would get scores under 1,000 when evaluating input output. But Opus 4.5, Sonnet 4.5, and Gemini 3 Pro get a 1,000 out of 1,000 score. So they've broken my. I brought it out, and the new models broke the evaluation system immediately. They get perfect score now, according to the criteria. It's not broken. Just the prompts are getting. The answers are that good. I mean, what do you want to do? The standard's gone up, so I have to make the system more stringent or something. Anyway, that's the thing about benchmarks, What are you benchmarking against? What criteria? Anyway, so the bottom three are basically all the same. They're basically all the same, all right? But they have slightly different features. So they all use the Google API for Nano Banana Pro. You can also use the old one, but you can, Nano Banana Pro. So Relight 4K takes an image and it has example relighting prompts. Obviously you can use your own, but the point is you can quickly go in and use Nano Banana Pro, or learn how to use Nano Banana Pro quickly, and then you can take those skills to any Nano Banana platform. But the point is, you learn the prompting and you're like, oh, okay, so now I can figure out how to do all of this relighting stuff into 4K with their upscaler. All right, so that's what that does. Group Shot has multiple people and objects. So this is designed, these are all learning tools to teach aspects of Nano Banana Pro. But if you're good, you can do all of these things in all of them, because it's all just prompt engineering, really. So this one gives a focus. Oh, I don't think I've got my Google API key on me. Okay, right. So this one gives a focus on relighting. So you'll bring in an image and relight it with a prompt. So as you can see here, create rainy day diffuse grey light. So you can learn how to do relight, and then you can go to 4K, and now it's a relighting upscaler. Image, prompt, done. Simple, fast, easy, yeah? But to be honest, you could also ask for text here. You could also have, you couldn't have multiple people, there's only one input, but that's the thing. A lot of places that do Nano Banana, they don't actually use the Google API. They're using some other API which doesn't have the multiple image input support. So this is why I'm using Google API with these, not OpenRouter. OpenRouter doesn't support it. So you can do it, but it doesn't understand what you're trying to ask for yet. They might change the documentation, but for now, these features aren't documented. They don't work if you try to do it the same way. Okay? But you can come in here and it works great. So obviously, a lot of places don't expose the 4K parameter. They'd rather charge you more money. And it does cost more money, but often not as much as they're charging. So this is essentially teaching that there is just a 2K, 4K property in the API call. So this is cheaper than a lot of places. You'll get the proper 4K output. And then if you want, you can relight. Like I said, relighting is an easy way to do a 4K image to image. It's a good prompt. But anyway, so as you can see here, we made it in snow. So yeah, it will actually change the image if you want. It's all about what you ask for. If you just ask for illuminate with starlight, creating subtle blue glow, it's not going to change it much. But if you change it to like heavy snow, blizzard, it'll actually put the ice on everyone and all of that. You should know that. But this is kind of like what I'm saying. Anyway, the next one in the list is basically the same, but this is very cool because you get to place all the people in the scene in an everyday situation. Random, place the group at the rooftop garden in the golden hour. So you'd add a bunch of people here, and then you'd add some objects here, and then you can multi-select. So you could be putting like 8 images. You could say the woman with the green shirt, with the man with the red shirt, with the cat and sports car, the green sports car. It's gonna, by naming the things in the picture in the prompt, it's going to actually generate that group image for you, and it's going to look more realistic the less ambitious you are. Like the more ambitious you are, the more hit and miss it gets. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously if you ask for like 5 guys with 6 things, that's quite chaotic. So, but if you're just asking for like this character in this car and stuff like that, that's very, very easy to do. All right. Okay, so like I said, and the nice thing about this is once you've actually finished it, you can do edit and go into 4K 16:9. So there's a reframe aspect to this as well. Okay. Let's see, will I wake up the thing if I just put something in here? Yeah, I woke it up. Okay, so do I have a key in here as well? Yeah, I do. Nice. All right, so I can show you this. So how about we take a woman on the bike and the blue thing and I wonder if we could put her on the back. That is one of our members' Loom's character that we did way back. I mean, to be honest, it's a great character, so we used it for testing a lot. I'll use the Black Sun one real quick. So I'll say something like, The woman with black hair is on the back. I'm going to try something crazy. On the back of the motorcycle, being steered by both women riding the motorcycle. Yeah, the woman with the black hair is on the back, being steered by the woman with red hair. Let's see, and then they are driving past a giant blue creature sculpture. Giant blue sculpture of a creature in the city, in the cyberpunk city. Just say something like that. And then watch it fail. Not in front of all my friends. There we go. And we wait. Does take a minute, usually. Yo, Kurt Curtis. Hey, y'all, he says. Welcome, welcome. Oh, Death Stranding Director's Edition. Nearly. Okay. I didn't spell motorcycle correctly because I'm a big floof. Whoops. Anyway. So yeah, we're just taking a look at some stuff. We've already looked at this. I'll come back to this. Oh, wait, no, there it is. Oh, I mean, guys, this is why everyone's going on about it. You see what I mean? So you see what we did? We picked Woman on the Bike. We picked one of my characters from Black Slum Collection. We picked the Gargoyle picture. Thank you very much, Mr. Vascular Gamatron. And then here we have, in my cyberpunk city, girl on the correct bike with the woman from Black Sun. She's even got the right outfit, look. It's got the little blue medallion on the neck. That's crazy, dude. There it is. And then, like I said, from here I can click edit, right? And I could say, I usually do stuff like change the background to sunset, you know. I don't know quite how that would work, so let's do it. Change the background to sunset, and then I'll change it to 16:9 landscape, and then we'll just go for 4K. Why not? What's the worst thing that could happen? Google says no, you've run out of credits. It's probably the worst thing that could happen. We'll let it cook. That was pretty quick, wasn't it, guys? I think that was pretty fast. I was expecting it to take like a minute or two. So give it a few seconds, and maybe we'll get our next return. I think it just goes straight into recent, not here. I can't remember. Maybe we'll get a preview. Oh, before and after would be nice, eh? Oh, okay. So there it is, and oh wow. So yeah, it just nailed it. Ready? Whoa, can we have it like that? There we go. So, character on that bike, another character on the back, that sculpture, now as a sunset scene. 2 prompts. How's that? So, it's never been easier to make cool stuff. And that is my character. It's old anime style, so it's lucky really, isn't it? And then this is from Black Sun Collection. She's wearing correct shoulder pads and that. It's gone a bit generic, I'll admit. But... and that is... that is his sculpture. It's exactly... it's followed all the cues, I think. There might be some slight change, you know. So that's madness. So anyway... this is one of my favourite little things to mess with at the moment. We've been doing this with different characters, different styles. Yeah. So, yeah, there it is, guys. It's a careless group shot. So this is really meant to teach you about multiple image inputs, which a lot of platforms don't actually support fully. I can't remember what the limit is. I think it might be higher than the limitation. I might have not let you put as many as it can do, just for the purpose of simplifying it. I think I let you do 4 and 4, when actually I think it lets you do like 8 and 6 or something. I swear it was like a weird number, like 14. I think it's 8 people and 6 objects, but I'd have to check the documentation. I can't remember off the top of my head. You can also use this in cheat mode, but I don't think it supports it. Really, I put this in so that when they drop the preview, I don't have to rewrite that up. That's the main reason. A little bit of future proofing. Okay. That's group shot. So the last one is Text Studio, and I think it's pretty self-explanatory. So, you know, we take the group shot from here, add this text without altering the scene. So I could say scuffed epoch. Now I don't know if this is going to make the image smaller. It might be only 2K. I got a funny feeling it is only 2K. Oh no, there we go. Yeah, it's only 2K. 4K is not exposed on this one. So it's going to resize the image to 1280x before doing the 2K. So add this text, scuffed epoch, without altering the scene. It's pretty boring. Let me just copy that and do random a few times. Right, scuffed epoch. There you go, right, scuffed epoch in calligraphy without altering the scene. Okay. Because obviously if you know prompt engineering, you know you could have done all of that at once. Really, group shot is all you need if you know what you're doing, because you can do relight in there, you can do 4K in there, you can do edit in there, and you can do aspect ratio changing, which gives you outpainting as well. So that's something you can't do in the other two. And the reason was I didn't want to make an all-in-one. I wanted to separate them out for lessons, because I can give someone a key and I can say, work through these exercises with me. It's really useful for coaching and one-to-one. So, you know, you give them a key, there you go, you've just learned how to do multi-person consistent characters with objects and relighting in 4K with text. I mean, that's basically your crash course right there, you know. If I just save that, that's done. You know, that would be my infographic, you know what I mean? And you can specify what you want the font to be, what the color you want to be, all the rest of it. So like I said, this is super effective. And again, if you don't like the detail of the 4K upscaler being crushed down to 2K and all this business, you know, I appreciate I'm just doing this quickly, okay? Personally, I would actually put this into my own upscaler at the end to get my characters back, but it's completely up to you. You know, the pipelines, the process is your convolution strategy, not mine. You should know how to put all the pieces together by now. And if you don't, book a session. I'm always available. Many people have, and they're having a great time. So like I said, we have the new live services under Cognition. Don't forget, we have my cybernetic VSM, viable system model tutorial, which comes with all the source code. We have the 0 Vector 8 deep search ABCD folded into a single call for the super cheap deep research stuff. We also have Fusion Horizon, which is hermeneutic circle. I think I spelt the GitHub name with a Herman, which is embarrassing, but I've already linked it everywhere, so I'm just going to leave the spelling mistake now. It is actually like hermit, hermeneutic, okay? Anyway, or hermetic. So yeah, it was actually designed by, I want to say this now, Fusion Horizon was done, so Deep Search came up with a thing about hermeneutics, where it said that the hermeneutic circle couldn't be done by AI, basically. So that's why I built it. That's what Fusion Horizon actually is. It was done to prove that the AI could do it, basically. A research team said it couldn't be done last year. It can be done. So, yeah, that's why I did that. The hybrid swarm is Stigmergy. Basically, I just wanted to validate. You know how it is. Sometimes the way to prove something is you try to invalidate it and you can't. Okay? But I try, and the thing is, by invalidating it, you actually build something useful. If you, yeah. So I did, yeah. This was part of the Fun with Agentic Pipelines series we did live about a week or two ago. So it's all, like I said, you can just go and use it. This is a open router API key. Okay, Grok Fast Online. What is the nature of consciousness? Let's see if I can spell consciousness. Nope, not a chance. Okay. So again, when you go in here, you can see it has 2 cycles to 5 cycles. There's a convergence threshold of 0.85, and it exposes the temperature. But yeah. There's also like a multi-mode where you can have like a conversation that keeps it in context, but this is just single query. I'll come back to that. I think the hybrid swarm is my favorite because it's just such an interesting approach. It doesn't use an orchestrator. It uses, there's no coordination. Well, Stigmergic coordination is like an ant hive. They all leave signals for each other on a board. So they don't talk to each other. They all read the board, which is just a different way of doing it, which means you don't need an orchestrator. This was part of Cognition 9. This is part of Cognition 9. That's a new thing of its own. I've open sourced the code for the zero vector stuff, so you can just pick those up and go ahead and work with them. There's also the MADM swarm, which was a variant that fused the ADDM loop regulator. It's all from Cognition 9. If you just followed that course, you'd know what all of this stuff is pretty much. Oh yeah, the other thing about Deep Search Persona, you can give it a markdown file and flavor it, right? So like, do you know what? Let's do something with that real quick, okay? Let's do something with that. Have I got a key in here? Yep, I got a key. Same thing. Okay, iterations 10. So, Deep Search Persona, right? So we've got a Persona file here, yeah? So obviously I've given away Personas, bunch of them for various different things. You can find them under LLM base prompts. There's loads of them. I just recently came out with Black Phillip, who is based on the comedy stylings of Patrice O'Neill, who's one of my favorite comics from back in the day. Can I find it? Where is it? Do you know it's not even here? What happened? Did I forget to upload it? Oh no, it's there. Black Phil. Ah, it's lowercase b. That throws me every time. An extra upscaler would do wonders and improve so many things in the picture. It's true. I haven't done any upscaling because so far I want to show you guys what it actually looked like. You know, so first week we don't do any of that. But now it's time to build in the upscalers. I got a bunch of different ways. I've got a funny feeling that the best upscaler might be the Z-Image Turbo. I mean in terms of accessibility, because I know that WAN 22 is the best upscaler, but it's 18 gigabytes. Most people can't run it, and if you quantize it, it gets worse, which defeats the idea of an upscaler. So, but remember, we used Flux for the same technique, and Z-Image Turbo is based on that, and it's 8 gig. So that means, in theory, you could do your tiled upscaling with Z-Image Turbo, because who cares what you do it with if it looks nice? So I'm going to be testing that out later. We've already got workflows to show how to run it. I've got it running on this machine. Maybe if we get to comfy, eventually we'll get there. And we can look at some of that. But let's just get this last section done here. The Wide Hat system, Patrice O'Neill. Okay, so don't worry about that. It's just a code name. Okay. But yeah, if I go to Deep Search, let's just download that actually. Deep Search. I'm going to drop my persona in, and I'm going to say, tell me all about New York. The Big Apple. I wonder if he'll make jokes about that. So we got Black Phillip loaded in. Okay. So Corlin says he's done it with the SD upscaler node. Zen Image Turbo works well. There you go. Nice one. Nice moves, Corlin. See, he's already done it. So it makes total sense. Yep. I'll probably hit it with my one and see what happens. But yeah, so what's going to happen is he's searching for sources. Remember, this is a deep search, but I've given it a flavor. I don't know if it'll listen to the flavor. This is going to be a good test. You'll immediately know. I might have to close the screen. Wise? Maybe when... Yeah, definitely. Wow, it's really getting into it. How is it? Because the thing is, it does the last bit. So it does all the deep research, and then at the very last minute, it gets your agent to come in and write the response. And my response is a stand-up comedian. So it's an interesting fusion of agentic whatever. So let's see, the Big Apple. I don't think that the persona... I think the persona's gone. Yeah, the persona's not there. Okay. It's very obvious that it's not there. That's got nothing to do with my agent. It's just a really good research, which is also fine. It makes you wonder though. No, I think it just didn't use it. So we can download the report. There were 4 research steps, 8 transitions, 8 states, 4 research steps. So it's got executive summary, history of the nickname, geography in the 5 boroughs, population and demographic, major landmark, economy, arts. So it's a really good deep research. However, it didn't do the agentic flavoring which I expected. So that's a bug. I'll fix that. But yeah, the deep search actually works great. So, see, the persona is a bit of an override for the final rewrite. Obviously, it just didn't work. That's okay. All right. So taking a look at what is the nature of consciousness. 5 cycles, 92 seconds, 35% converged. Query scope remains uncertain. Does it prioritize human consciousness or extend to AI, animal, or cosmic forms, potentially altering emphasis on qualia versus functionality? The hard problem resists full resolution, leaving open whether consciousness is emergent or epiphenomenal, materialist view, or fundamental, panpsychist alternative with no empirical closure despite cycles. Cultural interpretations vary. Western individualism versus Eastern non-duality or indigenous relationality could yield divergent natures requiring user clarification for deeper tailoring. So here is the answer, right? But like I said, Fusion Horizon is a little bit different. It prints all the ideas onto a big wheel and scrapes the final answer off at the end. So it's circular thinking. So again, I'm trying to get away from linear logic with a lot of these experiments. But like I said, a lot of the source code and agentic prompts and everything is up on the various, like here's the hermeneutic orchestrator, GitHub. You can just go ahead and play with it if you want. All right, so there it is. That's beautiful. So we also have some new Spittoon tools if you haven't been around for a while. Spittoon Choose Your Own Adventure makes choose your own adventures using Spittoon generated stories or your own crafted work. Also 3Strip takes those same story pages. Again, if you make stories with Spittoon Scribe or just using my narrative inversion technique, you will have those pages which are chapters. Alternatively, you can take your story, split it into chapters as pages. So a file named page whatever becomes the chapter. We start at 0. because arrays in programming generally start at 0. It's a small nuance, but the 3-strip makes 3-strip cartoons. The storyboard is the same, but it can obviously do photography, and at the end it does video. So if I give you a quick sneak peek of this, it's all live. It's using OpenRouter, I believe, not Google. Let me check. Where are the settings for this thing? These are the settings, yeah. It uses OpenRouter API, so it doesn't have the most advanced, but it does work great. It's got Pro, 3 Pro, and 2.5 Flash. The idea is you load your page, and you go page, and it will automatically use Grok to turn that into a bunch of panel prompts. Now, you might want to adjust them. So once you've selected the bubble style, the font, you can add new Google fonts. Okay. You have an image library for the input. Usually that's the character. It's quite simple, see. When the full support comes through, I mean, I'm tempted to put the Gemini key in here so it can actually do it proper, because it should have the same capability as Group Shot, you see. But we're still doing research to find out what the best thing is. At the moment, 2.5 Flash and 3 Banana work reliably with your single character reference, using the right style and the right an environment from that world, and it will reliably make consistent artwork of that character in that world. It defaults to 21:9 so that you have a choice of where it gets put. So when you click continue to editor, it's going to fill it in, and then you're going to end up with something similar to this. Now, Sharon is a silent story, so there's no words, but normally speech would be under the prompt in text here, and when you click, there'll be a speech bubble. If the cell has speech, you click it, it makes a speech bubble. You can like double click to edit. If there's double text in the speech, you can split it. But the narration is basically the black text that you see in the top. So I could say, and then obviously we can move the image around. We can use left shift to zoom it in and out, and as you can see, it's actually quite a wide picture. So you've got like some options for reframing. Save that. You can choose a different font. Like this is a global for speech bubbles. I think you can change that so it's possible to do tricky stuff. You pick the input image and you make sure the prompt is good, and then you queue it. Obviously, if you want to regenerate, it's going to take whatever is there. I would say just wait for it to finish. Often what will happen is it saves this, when you send, it saves the state of the app for you, just in case something goes wrong. So if you go and make a bunch of other edits or try to queue a bunch of other images, it gets confused. You have to do it one at a time. And then it works reliably, it works fine. Because I did this thing, I was like, oh, regenerate. And what happens is, you got your image, and as soon as this one came in, that one disappeared. Because it wasn't there when it was started, right? It's kind of funny. You end up messing yourself up. So just take it slow. But yeah, you can reposition. Okay. These are all Pro, I think. And then what I like to do is when I've done with the repositioning, I'll do like a relight prompt. So like add the rain, this is actually supposed to be inside. You can do a lot of stuff. So, before where it's like, oh, the pose is really good, but she's outside for some reason. When she's supposed to be in a cave, you can actually fix that easy. We put some lighting here, say the sun's behind her. So it looks like the sun is behind her. And then for this one, the flames, it's firelight, so it's got a different look because it's flames. Same here, we made her react to the wind. Before, she just had a normal expression and everything, you know what I mean? When the wind's blowing, so it made it look more like that. This one, obviously, we've made the thunderstorm more, so it wasn't like that originally. And then this one, we've made the light source match the shadow. So the light source is over there. And there's lots of little edits I've got like that. But this is just a simple 6 panel I did to test the a short story, which is just a montage of her going on different environments and stuff, right? So when you get to the export tab, like I'm happy with that, we're done. We can test it with export strip, which will just give us one. Okay, so that's the one that we just made. I can go, yeah, that looks good. All right, cool. So now we can do export all completed. And you'll notice, what does completed mean? It says completed here. So if you don't actually do everything, it will be in progress. So it's to let you know when you've got like, if you had like a lot, because you might have 16 or more rows per page. Anyway, the idea is you put them together however you like at the end, but you got two choices now. So export all completed keeps the crops, the bubbles, everything that you've done. Zip export, on the other hand, is even better. So when you open up zip export, it gives you the full image. Now the bubbles are still there. I think, no, these are still there, but the bubbles will be gone. Okay. So like, so you can fully re-edit, you know, say you want to use a wider shot and you didn't want them all to be square. You've got the option of reframing. So after you've built it all and it's all in order, look. So then you've got total control over how the composition of the book looks once you've made it. And you've got the full use of all of the pixels that you generated. I'll probably make it so that this is invisible in this mode as well. I think I made this after, so I just haven't been back and said, hey, make that go away as well. But as you can see, when you do a square, you know, we only got her on the sitting there in the original. So obviously you've got a lot more options for creating a really creative page layout. So that's why there's two options for that. But the fun doesn't stop there. The second thing we did was we put in video. So obviously we're going to be using Runware with Seedream. Okay, so you're going to want to put your Runware API key in here. You have your default video settings, whether it's a fixed camera. Do not use the prompt enhancement, it's broken. Does it keep defaulting back? No. Okay, good. So what this is going to do, when you could generate video, it's going to be the one that you're on. So if I'm on this page, it's going to be this one. If I'm on this page, it's going to be this one. So, and this is, like I said, a test. So when you generate the test video, it's going to use the prompt, this prompt. Okay, that's what the enhancer's for, by the way, to make it video, but I've actually found a better way of doing it now, so I'm kind of like testing that. But it's going to take this image with this prompt and it's going to make the video. Very simple, no tricks. So obviously if you wanted to like fine-tune the video, you can go back, edit this and save it, and then this image is going to be used with this, and it is cropped as well. It's the crop, not the full image, that gets used. So you'll send the crop, and it's actually cheap because of that, by the way. It's 15 cents. I've managed to get the video generation for the same price as a Nano Banana image. I think that's pretty impressive because it's small. It's small, that's why, because I thought I can upscale it myself, actually, you know. But here, if we go back to the video section, so you can see you'll have a running counter and it is accurate. Okay, so if I was to do a 5-second video with this system, each cell is going to be 15 cents. Now I think that's pretty good because it costs 15 cents for each picture. So if I make the image, that's 15 cents. If I do the relight, that's 15 cents. When you're talking about Nano Banana, you're talking about 2.5 flash, it's going to be 3 cents, isn't it? 3, and then 3 to relight. So like maybe 3 to do an edit. So now you're up to 9. You see what I mean? So you might have done 9 cents a frame with the cheap one. But my argument is that you go to 15 for the Banana Pro, it's higher resolution, and you can do those 3 edits in one prompt if you know what you're doing. So it's kind of like taking advantage of the power of the new model. It can actually do the edit chain in one prompt, not just like you don't have to do loads of them. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that you can get this image for 15 cents now, right? So when you come to the video, getting the video for 15 cents is not bad. It's the same price. Hello, Zeus. Welcome. Thanks, everybody, for joining. We're about halfway through, so thank you all again. But yeah, basically, like I said, the test video is just to make sure that you've got it set up right. If you see the test video, you go ahead and do start batch. It's just going to do all of them in one go, right? You can just go away and do something else, and when you come back, it will have generated all the videos. Okay? You can obviously download them at that point, but I wanted to go one better for you guys. So a little while back, we made something called Video Concat, which is another one of my apps. It uses FFmpeg stream copy, so it doesn't actually re-encode the video. Okay, 0 quality loss, 75 times faster. Okay, it's client side, so it relies on your system. It does it with your system. Okay, no installation. So basically you put the files in and it joins them. Memory requirements? Well, yeah, but like, what are you trying to do? Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're trying to do something, it's going to have a cost. Nothing is free. It doesn't have requirements. No, it's a web page. It's a web page. You come here. It says FFmpeg wasn't, but I think that's a bug. I don't think it is. I mean, maybe it is. Try it. Let me know if it works. It's a lovable. You can edit the lovable. Maybe I'll leave that there. Anyway. The point is, it's made for joining clips really fast. So, for example, I've got like, here we go. We've got these clips here, for example. Let's put them the other way around because that matters. You've got to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So I added them in. Can I move them around? I really should allow you to move them around. But if you put them in the right order, see 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, concatenate. Done. It's finished. Just like that. Instant. And now we've got all the image, all the videos that were generated together. For better or worse. So remember, guys, no cherry picking. But it was, let's see, $1.20 for all 6 clips. I think they're 1 megapixel or something. It's not bad. It's the character in the style, in the scene, doing the things. You know, I'd say 2 out of 6 were a bit scuffed and you'd want to re-roll, but other than that, they're all good. So yeah, I might enhance the UI again just to make it like easier. But yeah, what we've done is we've built this app into the Combine tab. So obviously I haven't got any video, right? But once you've done the batch, it feeds it into the next tab for you. So then you have that built in. All right. Maybe it uses VRAM. As far as I know, it's using, like I said, if you read what it said, I'll read it again for you, Fernie. All right. Uses FFmpeg stream copy method for 25 to 75% faster processing than re-encoding with 0 quality loss. For best results, use H.264 MP4 with matching. So in other words, they're all the same. So if all of the videos are the same, it just does stream copy. Browser processing is 25 times slower than native FFmpeg, but requires no installation. So I've got FFmpeg on my computer. If you've got FFmpeg on your computer, it'll work. That's all I can say. I made it for Windows peoples, but if you've got, I don't know, I would have thought that you can still do it. Anyway, like I said, I don't have another system. I can't test it. I can only test it on systems I operate, and at the moment, that's Windows. Right, enough of that. Storyboard. That's good. So that's all of them. That's all of them. So we've got Gork. Let's talk about Gork. So I put my key in already, guys. Gork is an old game, an old text adventure game from the olden days. And I've made it so you can put your own adventure in, okay? But it does have the default theme, which is what this is, so we can start our adventure. And it's Gork. The commands are down the bottom. You probably can't see them because of the screen size. Yep. Let's change it. So yeah, the commands are down in the bottom there. So it tells you awaken. So you're going to get eaten by a Gru. I'm just going to let you know right now, you're going to get eaten by a Gru. That's what's going to happen. But you know, it's one of those, so I could say north. Let's go north. There's an exit. Let's go north. I'm in the ancient forest. See? So Zork is the original, and I was inspired by the open sourcing of the Zork source code. Okay? And so I said, hey, let's make Gork, which is basically, because Zork ran on Zilch. And so I was like, maybe we use Grok and run it on Gilch. I was just joking around. And then we were like, well, you know, it's not such a bad idea. So we ended up with Gork. So a text adventure in the spirit of Zork. I have not used their source code, even though they open sourced it. I figure that the engine, the hologram in the model, already knew what it is. And so I gave him the ability to just go ahead and make it. Now, I think you can type like /help, or is it just help? Yeah, so if you type help, you can get the commands here. So you've got take, drop, inventory, examine, open, use, attack. Then you've got look, score, verbose, brief, quit, restart. So I don't want to spoil the game. It says I'm in the living room. I'm in the living room in an ancient mansion. So it's a pretty cool. I like it. I thought it was cool. Quit, funnily, and restart don't actually do that. They do restart the text side of it, but remember the memory stuff is separate. So I've given you a restart button at the top, which will actually restart the game, because otherwise you don't really get the intro or to change the stuff. But yeah, you've got the number of moves, it tells you the location, it should. So yeah, that's that. I think it should persist. Does it persist? No. Just refresh it then. Yeah. No persistence. Don't refresh the page, you'll lose your adventure. But to be honest, if you play the game, you usually get eaten by a Gru pretty quickly. So they're not going to be, it's very, yeah, you'd have to be quite good at it to not just immediately get eaten. But yeah, it's a pretty cool game. So yeah, that is now at gork.origini.com. So the Wide Hat system, it is comedy, okay, but it does it without stealing his actual jokes. Well, that's the idea. Trying to take his philosophy rather than, just taking quotes and mimicking. It's not a mimic. It's supposed to be someone who's a big fan and wants to do comedy like him. That's what it's supposed to be, right? There's even rules in here about do not just copy, the target. Like, you're not allowed. Do I put it in here somewhere? Wow, look at this. Never apologize for the perspective under delivery. If 20 people walk out of 300, you're doing something right. Good stuff. Yeah, Zork is quite unforgiving. Zeus says this would have been a few weeks project for some artist a few years ago. Indeed, there's a lot of stuff that we can do in a day that would have taken weeks, guys. So you want to take advantage of this while it's cheap, because it is going to get more expensive. I know that AI seems to get cheaper all the time, and maybe there is an element to that, but I'm thinking on a longer time frame than a few months down the line. I'm thinking years down the line, because some people wait 10 years to write a book, and then it takes them 5 years to write the book. So you're talking like, write a book might mean 15 years to somebody, yeah? And so the idea that you could do that in a week, for real, like if you buckle down and do it, you can actually publish in a week, and it won't be nonsense. You will have read every page multiple times. You will have known exactly what it's all about and planned it out from like atomic level. So I think it's actually more thorough when you take it to that level. But there's a sort of commitment, and you can get scared away by the complexity. Something nobody's talking about at the moment is the complexity. It's very complicated. The systems can create things that can quickly get away from you if you don't know what you're doing or have the experience. And so there's skill then, isn't there? Huh. Skill from experience, guys. Get it in. Just get it in. But yeah, right, so that's Black Phillip. So let's talk about repos, baby. What do we got? I've updated Watchdog, so it's using the same version that I've got on my machine that's running my Watchdog. Keeps Comfy UI alive on a Windows machine. Probably works on Linux as well, because it's technically just Python. You set up custom paths, you set up your script entry, and if Comfy goes down, it's got a grace period of 2 minutes, because you might just be restarting, you know what I mean, or doing an update. But essentially what it does is you run Comfy just like normal, and then it will detect that because you gave it the paths and stuff. And then if it crashes, after 2 minutes, it will restart itself. And the reason for that is because, like I said, you might be doing a custom node update, whatever, right? You might just have to restart it, whatever. It can also obviously remotely restart the server, start up new instances, and it will kill any living ones, you see, because there might be like a zombie situation. And if you want to do my yesterday system, the scheduler, you need your Comfy up. You know, I can't be scheduling stuff at 3 a.m., go to bed, and then have Comfy crash out and be down all night. You see what I mean? So this makes sure that doesn't happen. Comfy UI recovery is kind of like even more like, oh no, something broke. But I haven't automated this. But at the moment, it automates the installation. So what I mean is, if Watchdog can't restart 3 times in a row, he might just initiate recovery, build an entirely new Comfy, and then start that one instead. So it's like another redundancy. So, oh, Comfy's down, install a new one and put that up online instead, you know? Comfy, so just in case you cooked it. Because it could be the update cooked it, and then it could roll back, see, automatically. But anyway, these are all just ideas. These things can all be done, by the way, but I'm trying to give it like a consumer access point for stuff on your desktop. Because most of this stuff is not for you, it's for people in the cloud. No, they don't want to do it for just one guy on his computer, you know. So that's something I've been trying to do. Like I said earlier, all of the new custom nodes should be now on the Comfy Manager. I mean, I submitted them, so I hope they're there. But that would be the Comfy UI Flux to JSON nodes, which we should be able to look at. I think they might be open somewhere. Maybe we'll install them. We'll see how much time we have. I did a Lagrange study, which is an interesting one. Careless Clips is still underway. Comfy UI Variationator. Yeah, that's another custom node. So this is for doing edit prompts, automation of edit prompts. You know, change this, change that, do this, do that. Yeah. So that's what the Variationator is really for. But you can combine Variationator with the Flux2 JSON because you can automate things like weather, time of day, location, camera, position, distance, all this sort of stuff. If I'm being real, this is more comprehensive, but this offers some randomization, which is nice. Okay. Did I never release this? Oh my god, I actually completely forgot about that. Right. Hold up, boys. Bonus time. Careless Vault. I completely forgot about this. Okay, guys. So this is really cool. I'll show you. So I'll say test key here. Test key. AES 256 encryption key. We have it. We click it. We choose a file. Or do I have to drag and drop it in there? Let's drag this comic strip in there. Encrypt it. Alright, if I go to my file manager, I now have that encrypted file. I can decrypt it. I can move it to a folder. Where's the save? Yeah, then you go to the decrypt tab. You can download the encrypted file, okay, which is an archive. So let's have a look inside. It's got a DAT file and a JSON. Good luck. You can export all, so if you've got multiple files. You can import a zip, so I could import the one that we just encrypted, right, for decrypting. And obviously you can import a key, and you can download the key. So if you download the key, put it on your computer, encrypt your files, put them on the computer, you can then you can import that key later or on another machine, decrypt that, and then import the encrypted file and decrypt it. And then just for convenience, I've given you the file manager so you can make test. And then we can move into test. So now we can have an encrypted archive with many encrypted files. And we can just download that. And then we have the careless vault with the file inside with the encrypted data, you see. And I guess there would be more folders. It's just very, very rude. It's a rudimentary encryption system, right? Encryption, decryption, AES 256. And yeah, you can, like I said, you can back up your stuff and you can keep your key. And then when you delete the key, it wipes your the database. I think it leaves the folder behind because that's part of IndexedDB, but there's nothing in it, so everything's gone. And it's just a web page, so it does it all client side, but it doesn't install any software on your computer. So you can just come in here, encrypt something with the key, keep the file, take it away, take it to another machine, and you can dig it. So it's interesting. I mean, look, there's many ways you can do this. There's plugins for Notepad. It's not a big deal, right? But I thought it was a nice little project. So yeah, there you have it, careless encryption. I'm planning on putting this into an Electron app so you can run it on the desktop and then you don't need the web. But this is a zero data website, no login, no tracking. You can check the code. I'll probably be outsourced. I will open source the code for this because I'm trying to educate people on how they can use things. Okay. And as you can see, aside from the Ko-Fi logo that's for some reason not loading, which is a Ko-Fi problem, not a me problem. Apart from that, it has the consistent style that you see across the branding. And so the goal here was to make an app that matches the brand guidance. So even though it's vibe coded, even though it's just been imagined for, make an encryption thing, it's done to spec, right? Which is important. Because like I said, we got the common menu here. We can take this back to where we were. I do need to update the main Origin AI site though, because I'll be real, there's only 27 sites here and there's like another 30 I need to add. See, what I did was I prioritized the main sites first, the Careless, the Cognition, the Spittoon. But see, some of the gold cards are up, but you can see where it is. There's a lot of stuff missing. I got Scribe there. It's not that bad actually. It's probably about 8 services and a bunch of repos. But I was trying to make it easy. Turn that off. All context. You might quickly get there. Stuff like this. Planning on making a new banana. Like a sort of tutorial mini site. Okay. We've looked at that. We've demoed that. Lagrange points, ladies and gents. Wanted to compare the ability of Gemini versus Gemini. So what can we do? They say we can do these visualizations. So I wanted to know where the edge of that was. So here we have 2 images. The first image is done with the code generation approach. So this is the Solar System Gravity Archipelago, log polar projection with normalized local wells. So this is a gravity field map of the solar system. Okay, So you've got Earth, Venus, Mercury, Mars, and Jupiter. There's L5. There's L4. There are other maps. This is just one of them. I decided to put the big one up for, obviously that's the sun, guys. I think you probably knew that. But yeah, basically we used physics code in Python to generate the images. So this wasn't generated with an AI image generator. It was generated with code that was written by an AI. So we had Gemini Pro write the code to make the, do the physics to show me the topographical contour map of the gravity well of each planet. Very interesting, don't you think? It's actually like a banana shape because it kind of leads and trails. And I never knew that. I've never visualized this before. Apparently it's not inaccurate. If you're in physics and you want to tell me this is wrong, please do. But here is the image generation approach. So doing the same project, Nano Banana Pro, creating visual representations, right? So this is the attempt by, now, look. As far as this looks great, I don't know how accurate it is. It's obviously not to scale. But the point I'm trying to make is, it's trying to do it, right? It's trying to do it, and it certainly looks cool, right? Anyway, this was just generated with an image prompt, though, right? And then what I've done is to sort of show everybody, if you go into the Banana Pro folder, you can see the Pro prompts, and then you can see some of the other banana images. This one was actually very good, considering that this is just a... because I said, where are the Lagrange points? Show me where the Lagrange points with a contour map. So there's L1 and there's L2. I think that did a really good job of explaining that, don't you? I think it did a really good job. So it's like areas where there's no gravity because of the equilibrium, right? Anyway, what were you saying? No gravity? I mean, effectively zero, because it's like an equilibrium point. It's where we put a lot of satellites. Anyway, the evidence is right there. It works. They use this to do stuff. But if I go to the same image from this is the Python. There's the Python code. Gemini Pro wrote this for the same task. Okay, so if I now go to the image for image map 1, this is what we did with Python. So there's L1, L2, L5, L3. You can't really see the labels because they're in white. L4. And that is accurate though. L5, L1, L2, L4, L3. I think, look, the numbers might be off, but they're in the right place is what I'm saying. If we assume that the sun is like over to the left, I guess. Okay. And like I said, it did that with Python, so that's pretty cool. So, I mean, obviously this isn't as like user friendly. This is probably accurate for the numbers, like more accurate by the numbers. But anyway, we open sourced that because I thought it was an interesting little study, and all it was which is better. Doing I want 3 maps of Lagrange points at different scales: Earth, Sun, Earth, Hill Sphere, or the Solar System Archipelago, which is the big one we looked at first. And we decided to use Python to either write the scripts, that's the old way of doing it, see, use scripts with NumPy and Matplotlib to make the graphs, right? But Nano Banana Pro is also good at this, and guys, I'm not being, it was pretty good. I mean, look, is it accurate? No, but none of these are really to scale. Well, unless this is, and that would be scary. Wouldn't that be funny if this was to scale? I don't think it is. We have some saying. Anyway, that was fun. We did that. So the Flux 2 JSON thing, right? As you can see, we made a cool Godzilla scene with a bunch of cardboard city. We made Thora on the bike. So this is what it looked like with no image input. this is what it looked like with image input, and then this is what it looks like with the character and the bike. Okay, so let's just zoom in on that. So on the right is Nano Banana using the structured prompt. On the left is Nano Banana with my image input. That's all. We just gave it a reference. And of course, we also had a bike reference. So we gave it a bike reference. Okay. There's the bike. Kind of Acura-ish, right? And it does the bike. Same prompt, by the way. Same prompt. We just literally gave it another image reference as an image batch input. Okay, and that would be in Comfy UI using the API node for Gemini Pro, which comes native in Comfy UI now. I think it costs 14 cents per go, 14 point something. So the major thing about this is you have a prompt assembler, scene builder, style selector, subject creator. These creators go into the array, and then the array, the selector, the builder, and the camera rig all go into the assembler, and that builds you a clean JSON for prompting according. And this is all based on a release by Black Forest. They made the Flux 2 prompting guide for structured JSON, and so then I used that information to create these nodes. So the way it's set up is literally how they advise to do it. You know, I haven't made this up for once. For once I didn't make it up. It's literally just straight from their brief. And I think I've actually included that in this as well. A lot of the time what I'll do is I'll actually include a lot of other stuff. So obviously you've got examples, you've got plans, you've got docs, you've got course, and you've got agents. So in addition to it being custom nodes, we have all the examples. So this has got various different Comfy workflows, prompt JSON, you know, various different outputs. Okay, from what we were showing off here. All right, and then the next one would be the plan. So here we have complete file checklist, node suite planning, phase complete. So this is the, you know, we go in here, node suite planning. That's the plan. Okay. Covers all aspects of prompting. Get rid of that. Go into the docs. We've got installation guide, workflow patterns. Go into the course. We have the course overview, introduction to structured prompting, and the JSON schema anatomy. So this is designed to be an actual mini course. So you can learn about structured prompting and do all that. I'll probably turn this into a website. Do you know what I mean? It's this kind of the idea here. You get to go through all these modules. Problem with traditional prompting. 2 mugs, 1 black, 1 yellow. All right. And then we have the agents. So obviously I've turned the custom nodes into agents. So you can use this system prompt and it will output a plan that tells you how to fill in the JSON nodes. So you can understand how to take your idea into these nodes and then have full control over it. Now, if you just want it to work and you don't need full control, you just want to use JSON structuring, but you don't want to micro plan every single little aspect of it out, you can just use the direct expert. Now, he's a little bit loose, but if you give him good prompt, like you give him a normal image prompt, it'll have enough information in it that he will be able to just convert it straight to JSON. And then you don't even need my nodes. You can just copy paste that JSON into the input of any Flux 2 thing. But it's also good for Nano Banana. I haven't tried it with VO3 yet, but I bet it works. I tried it with Seedream 4 and I tried it with Kling 2.1, and the JSON input structure works. So, you know, the way I'm looking at this is, you know, there's like a sort of a little bit of a cheat code going on here, because, yeah. But if you want full control, you want to do the plan expert. And to be honest, if you're advanced with Comfy UI, you're not going to even need either of these, because the way the system works, it gives you everything you could possibly want, and you can stack all of the things in You're able to fully describe everything, where they are, what color they are. It's very good. All right. And then obviously there is the Variationator, which we already looked at. And Variationator allows you to do edits. So it's going to change like the last bit. It's going to add bits to the end, right? That's pretty much what it does. With a good design, you're able to change composition, detail, all these different things. I was using it to make the Thora on a bike videos, which have been coming out as shorts lately. So yeah, it's capable of doing 84 quadrillion combinations, guys. It can make any prompts into 84 quadrillion combinations. I doubt anyone is going to use every combination of everything, you know. I doubt, you know, you're normally just going to use one of them, so that would be 240. But if you times them all by each other, it's a ridiculous number. So potential for variation is there. And you can add your own categories as well. You can customize it if you know what you're doing. And again, fork my code. Oh look, someone already did. Good man. Looked at the vault. Auntie Bob was funny. We made a chatbot when I was on holiday. He doesn't do what you want. He does the opposite. He actually does fake stuff. It's funny. Multi-strategy intent classification, context-aware conversation, dynamic subroutine system, a knowledge base, personality system, an advanced evasion layer, a 4-layer interference system with 886 unique responses, the reflection game, where he plays the Solid Snake thing and he goes, huh? No, he goes, he'll repeat the last noun that you said as a question and see how long he can get away with it for. Frustratingly realistic conversation avoidance tactics. Zero runtime AI. There is no AI. He's pretending to be an AI that doesn't want to do his job. It's just a joke app, really. But I wanted to do research to see how many layers can we put between the user and an LLM, and then how successful would a user be if we program that layer to not let you through. You know how people say call centers do this? Well, I wanted to actually put that to the test, and yeah, it's pretty funny. He'll start questioning you philosophically about whether you really want to even do that. So here we go. Hi, hello. You say hello to the bot. What can I do for you? My name's Alice, you say. Nice to meet you, Alice. What's the weather in Boston? Because he can look up the weather, he can tell you the time of day. He can do math. There's things he can do programmatically he doesn't need AI for, right? But in evasion mode, hang on, look. Can you help me with Python? Python? Yes, Python programming. Programming? You see what he's doing? He's playing the reflection game to get out of our giving you an answer. So stop repeating me. Hang on, I'm organising cable management. He's got loads of... he's got too many tabs open. My kettle's on. I've just got to go. I'll be right back. He's got about... Like I said, he's got hundreds of things he can say. And look, I need help. Did you know octopus have 3 hearts? He'll just randomly... Like a crazy person. And obviously, you wouldn't want a chatbot to be unhinged like this. But I thought, okay, let's do what you shouldn't do and use and analyze that. So that's what I've been doing. So we end up with this: user input, intent classification, context manager, evasion engine. Check if Bob should avoid answering, and if not evading, subroutine response. So it would have AI, but this could be a cost-saving thing because not everything you need needs AI, and not everything you know what I mean? So it would effectively only let the AI spend on what it needs to, and use, do as much as you can without using the AI. And if you're like doing a million user AI system, this is going to save you hundreds of thousands of dollars. So that's the way I look at it. Because a lot of the stuff you don't need full-on AI for everything. People are going to come in and say, what time is it? Hey, ChatGPT, what time is it? Okay? And that's when you need the interference layer to legitimately just tell the user the time and not bother making a call. You see what I mean? So this is a bit of a joke, but there is a realistic use case sort of hidden in this project. All right. Because again, a lot of stuff like knowledge base, you don't need AI to look up a knowledge base. So anyway. All right. So yeah, that explains that. Next. We already looked at that. Those are all good. I think we're all caught up. See, I actually was on holiday, guys. Can you believe it? I got a release for you, though. I got a new release. Now, this is going to be my new TTS of choice in all my Careless ecosystem. It's taken us months to evaluate all the different ones. And it's not, yeah. Oh. Hang on a minute. Unreal. Because of the way the app was built, the readme's in the wrong folder. Johnson! Sort the documentation out, Johnson. I also need to get my citation real quick. I bet it's not there. Let's find out. Yeah, there's nothing there. Citation needed. Citation needed. Where do I gotta go? Citation. Citation. Dum dum da dum 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 dum. Copy that. Go over here. Edit this. Alright. A little bit of house cleaning I gotta do. There it is. Chuck that in there. It's going to be a really long name for some reason. Oh my gosh. It's probably quicker just to write it out with all those capitals. DJZ Supertonic. It's a very cool, low, it's like a lightweight TTS. Supertonic. Supertonic TTS.net. Yes, Zeus, out of topic. It seems Z-Image is getting some traction. It doesn't feel like it's just novelty buzz. So it uses the Flux VAE, right? It uses the Flux VAE. It uses a cool new, well, I can't remember which one it was now, but I know it's using an LLM for the clip encoder, and then the model weights at Q8 are under 8 gigabytes, which is super cool because that means it can make, you know, Flux quality images on a smaller GPU, that's just amazing. No one's going to complain about that, but there's a few important things to note. It's not an edit model. It is like Flux. It's not a context, so it's not a Schnell model. So, you know, I think it would be nice to see a Lightning or a Hyper or a Turbo for it, so that we can get like a distilled 4-step version. I think that would make it even better, because at the moment it's not fast, but it is good quality. Talking about Z-Image, and it was Z-Image Turbo I was using as well, see, so that's a bit strange, but the quality was very good. And I'm waiting for an IP adapter because I don't see anybody training it now, unless somebody tells me, oh well, it's Flux, isn't it, you can just use Flux. That would be amazing if you could load Flux Loras with it, but I got a funny feeling that, well, I don't know, I haven't tried. Let's just put it at the bottom line, I haven't tried, I don't know. The fact that the VAE is the same, maybe, but the clip's different, so it probably, I don't know, it probably doesn't work, you know what I mean? I don't know. Makes me vibrate at high speeds. But yeah, it is good. I think it might be a nice upscaling option for people if they want to use the tiled method I do, you know, because there's a tiled method for upscaling with Flux, and it was a little bit too costly for people because it was such a big model. And it's the same with WAN. WAN is currently amazing, but it's 18 gig, so to run it is like not as easy as you might like. Supertonic to convert speech to text. Oh my god. Oh my god. But yeah, this is a really nice system, this one that we're looking at here. I'm just sort of doing this because it was missing. It was missing, it was. So yes, commit. So what I've done, there's two parts to this one. So part one is the example repo from the author. That's not me, that's the guy that made it, right? At Supertonic, sorry, right? And that's Supertone. So let me look it up. Supertone. Supertonic. Okay. So Supertonic TTS, lightning fast on device, running natively with ONNX. And look at all the options. You can do Java, you can do Node, you can do Python, you can do Rust, you can do web. Now I took the web version first, this one, and I installed it, and then I had to fix it a little bit, but that doesn't matter. It's probably because I'm on Windows and he's on Linux, right? But when I installed it, it had a few problems, but it was easy to get it sorted, okay? The point is the models are very, very small. So that means you can use this 100% local free forever TTS, which doesn't sound like shite and isn't slow. Okay, I think it was less than 100 meg for the models. This is just like my Whisper solution I use in Kelis. So I've been waiting for this for a while. So for our desktop apps, where we have local TTS or transcription, it was a bit ropey and bad, but this has solved it. So as you can see back here, Go. He's given us lots of different options for deploying, okay? 66 million parameters, 8 languages, 100% on device, okay? So yeah, runs on a Raspberry Pi. So this is good stuff, right? And so what did I do? Well, I wrote an integration document. So here, .NET Supertonic integration. So this is for .NET, not for Java or blah blah blah. This is for .NET, all right? But the AI can write .NET, so don't be afraid. So Supertonic TTS on device, ONNX runtime, guide host show integrate .NET app as replacement for or complement to Browser SAPI. A lot of my apps were built with Browser SAPI as the example TTS. And I said to you guys, oh, just put something like 11 Labs in. Cool, but wouldn't it be nice if it was free? So that's what we've done. So pure .NET, no external dependencies. Okay, you can see what's up on here and everything. Very cool. All right. Now, this plan is really nice, and I used that to build the app I'm releasing today, right? But here's the thing. There were some shortfalls in this plan, which you don't know until you've actually executed a plan. So when I've done the plan, we had some issues that were outside the scope of the plan. So I've got implementation, lessons learned, okay? So if you were going to follow my plan, I would include this with the plan so that you learn from, the mistakes or the extra bits that were missing. So there were problems like, for example, incorrect from the original guide. This is just wrong, right? You can build it, it builds fine, but when you come to test it, it doesn't actually work, okay? JSON uses lowercase names. Divide by 0 is what you end up with. But then it shows this is the correct implementation. So this becomes a do's and don'ts list for the agent that's doing the plan. So I can say, listen, do the plan, but look at the do's and don'ts list to make sure that you don't make these mistakes. Okay? So then the plan gets better. Anyway, a whole bunch of different stuff. So we've got a whole bunch of things that they're nuances that you wouldn't know until you actually write the code out and test it. Okay? And so this is a new thing which I haven't done yet. We might make it better, actually rewrite the plan from scratch with the 2 files, you know, which is what he was supposed to do, by the way, but I was using Claude Code to do it, so he's a bit special. He doesn't like to edit files, he likes to make new ones, which is fine. It's better. He doesn't delete things then. But anyway, so we put this up fully, right? If you go into here, this is where the actual app is, all right? It's written in C#. Now, you don't need to take this because this is basically the dev version, right? This is the dev version. And that's fine. But what I've done is I've put, where's the release? It says there's 1 tag. What's going on? Okay, for a minute there I thought it was missing. So 100 megabytes. And I think it's got an additional 100 megabytes of stuff that you have to download when you get it. So let's see if we can... It's a shame, you won't be able to hear the damn thing. It'd be nice to see it actually work, wouldn't it? Okay, we got the app. Let's see if it runs. There it is. It's initializing TTS. You can't see it because it's small on the screen, but he's downloaded all the models and he's ready to generate. So I'll say, hello world. Non-zero. Wait, what? I fixed that bug. I know exactly what this bug is. Hang on, look. Map mole node input style TTL. I think I must have uploaded the wrong version. This is correct. It's correct. The version you have here is correct, but I think the build version is not correct. Like it's the one before. Here, look, I'll go down to the very bottom. Namespaces. Where is it? Mapmole. Mapmole. Wait a minute. Hold on. Ah, right. Okay. Input style underscore TTL. It uses style underscore TTL, not TTL. So that's a related issue there. Wait. ONNX model names, not style. Look, not style. So there's like, you know, it's like a naming discrepancy. It just said TTL, not style. It said. It's the sort of, that's the sort of thing that it messes up. It messes up like, oh, actually there's a capitalization, right? Or, oh, actually you're supposed to put, look, here we go, missing style, missing input style, missing input style. Here we go. So this is literally the one that we fixed. The only authoritative reference is the C. There, wrong input tensor name. Use correct input names. Issue 4. Issue 4. There. It's this. I love it. It's like, yep, I know why it doesn't work as well. Alright, anyway, enough gazing into the void of bugs. Zeus says, that's why I'm saying it. There's Laura getting posted on Civet. People are working on it. There's even a Technicolor Laura for it now. Okay, hang on a sec. No, not Technicolor. It'll be replicate space Z image turbo base turbo. I wonder. I don't know. I don't see a trainer on here. But maybe we can dig around for it another time. Maybe we can dig around for it. Okay, so anyway, I know I got to fix my release now, so that's another thing. That's okay. It's always when you want to do the demo in the last 5 minutes of the show that things go wrong, so it's all good. I'm all right. It's fine. I kind of expect it at this point. I'm like, yep, something's going to go wrong. So yesterday is still running. It's done 2 today. So my success rate is 6% of all time, apparently. I don't know what else, but it's not good, is it? It said it's done it. It's good enough for me. I think there's a problem with the uploader, basically. Something wrong with the uploader. Now then, which one is this? That would be Flux. Okay. So this would be my normal WAN workflow. So obviously we're doing a bunch of Ollama stuff at the beginning for prompt, and then we're doing a bunch of T2I with the local WAN 22, and then we're going to do upscale T2I or I2I with the thing there, right? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the community adopts it in a major way, because the problem that a lot of people forget, we're talking about Z-Image Turbo here. The thing that people forget is that most people don't have more than 8 gigabytes of VRAM. So there's a big community of people that want to do stuff with AI, and the AI community has decided that they're going to make big models now. And that is kind of highlighted by the Flux 2 dev weights that came out recently. Did you know that if you had a 5090, which is the largest prosumer GPU, so you'd have to spend $2,000 to $3,000 on that, and you can't run Flux 2. It's too small. So even if you had the biggest GPU that you can realistically buy, I mean, look, I know there's bigger ones, but you have to put down so much money, it's not practical for an average person to be spending $5-6 grand on a GPU. There's a reason why you're doing that, right? That's expensive. It's more money than most people spend on a car, right? So what I'm saying is it would be for a reason that you're doing that. It's not the average, right? So even if you have the best GPU on the market, let's say, and I know that's another debate, I'm trying to generalize here, you still can't run Flux 2 without quantizing it, okay? So when a model like Z-Image Turbo comes out, which looks just as good in Q8 as it does in full size, and you can run it under 8 gig, they're going to flock to that like droves. Because the thing people forget is that even Flux was obese. Flux was too big, right? But we quantized it down and we got it working. You know, people forget that when it came out, a lot of people couldn't use it. They had to wait for the quants, the FP8s, and the Q4s even, all that, right? And with a video model, we kind of expect that because it's kind of much more effort to make video. But now we get into 2K image models, and obviously it's hard to keep that under control, right? So what I think a super efficient redesign of the Flux architecture is what Z-Image looks like to me. I don't know. I haven't done the research, but I did put some workflows out for you guys because I got you covered. Because like I said, I want to use it. I've been using it. I share my work. That's how I operate. So if we go down to the very bottom, because obviously it's Z-Image Turbo, we've got a healthy little collection of workflows here. My favorite right now is Turbo Instant Forever, which uses my variation nodes to just basically, you put one of my prompt lists in at the beginning and you just let it run forever. Let it run forever. It's very good. T2I, I2I, and structured JSON examples at the moment. So there's going to be an upscale example soon using the tiling. There's people in the chat who are saying they're doing the same thing. So, but yeah, I'm a local guy. Like, I appreciate like open weights. Oh yeah, open weights that no one can run without 100k in data center fees. That's cool. You know, I like something that everyone can run. It's sort of like there's becoming a bit of a separation between open source at home and open source in the cloud, because open source in the cloud is too expensive. It's open source, but you've got to pay so much money, no one can really do it. So if you ask me, open source at home is the true open source. I know that the one in the cloud is the legal open source, it's fine, but the costs are debilitating. I don't know what the exact word for that is. Restrictive. So really we want open source at home, because that means we can run it on our reasonably priced hardware. Yeah, you don't need to own a Formula One car, basically, is what I'm saying. You can just run a Toyota, it'll still go. So, and I'm not calling this a Toyota. We'll see about that. You've got to earn that reputation. But no, the Z-Image Turbo, that's up. Don't forget, we got the Foda 2 pack, which is slowly building. We're going to be making some videos about that soon. At the moment, and these are for the local weights, guys. This is for local, not API. So if you're running Flux local, check out my Flux 2 image to image edit. Wait. Oh yeah, I remember now. I remember we improved it. Yeah. And then we've got Flux 2 local I2I, single T2I I2I, and then I did a Flux versus Nano Banana workflow so you can compare them. And then we made a Flux 2 JSON, which uses the Dev GPT 5 node, so it does use an API node. You can swap it out, but the point is it makes the JSON, so you can do the auto JSON prompting into Flux 2. So that's all of that stuff. Some people are making a meme of a tombstone with Flux on it. Well, the thing is, if I'm being honest, Flux is actually really good. The problem is it's so big. It's pandering to their corporate clients who are paying the money. Like they're not stupid. They're making a lot of money from their clients who like the product, and so they're providing a product for the people that are paying. The reality is that the open source gang don't pay. So I think it's kind of like if you had a restaurant where there was a type of customer that always gets free fries, and then you have another type of customer that always gets the full meal, right? The full meal with all the trimmings, yeah? Who do you serve? Who do you pander to, right? The guy who gets the free fries, or the guy that wants to spend money on the big burger with everything, all the extras, you know? He gets the McFlurry, he gets the milkshake, he gets the extra chicken nuggets, pays full price for the whole thing, you know? So I think that might be what's going on, you know? Pander to where the money's coming from. But what do I know? I don't know. Speculating here. But I actually did enjoy Flux 2, especially when you prompt it with JSON. If you prompt it with JSON like they tell you, it's actually super controllable. So like you want to change that coffee cup from this color to that color, you can do it with hex codes. It's so precise. But then I just put that into Nano Banana and he can do it too. So I'm like, oh. So it's really funny. We were comparing the two, and basically Banana was on top, and then we unlocked the structured JSON, and then Flux looked amazing. We were like, wow, this actually fixes Flux. It's so good. You don't need edit with this. And then we plugged that into Banana, and we were like, yeah, but he can do that too. So game over. It really comes down to, are you running it locally? You can't run Nano Banana locally, and eventually we'll be able to train Flux 2. So then you'll have the same thing that you're seeing with Z-Image. But here's the thing again. Who's got the GPU to train that model? It's huge. right? If Z-image training, I'd rather be doing Z-image training because it's going to be cheaper. I'll be able to train a bigger model on a smaller budget, you know? Because I can imagine like Flux 2 will be a bit of a pig to train because it's such a big model. You'll have to do it with an H100 or something. You won't be able to do it at home. Whereas an 8 gig model, in theory, you could train it at FP8. So in theory, you could train it on a smaller GPU, is what I'm saying. That's what I'm thinking. But what do I know? I'm a GJuff user, so what do I know? Okay, so that's the workflows. Obviously the API native, there's a bunch of new stuff in there. I did just make a new one called, it's a new texture thing. So we did something in the Hangouts. So we do Hangouts, we'll probably be in there later. So if I just go to the chat, there's often stuff in there. So, oi. Right. Make this a bit bigger. So what you're looking at is an NPC from Amiga, okay, from an Amiga game. It was tiny, like 24 by 32 or something, right? And it's from a sprite sheet, which we've split out, padded, and then blown up, and then put into, in this case, Flux 2. It's kind of funny what Flux did. You're right. Didn't you think it's kind of funny what he did? It's kind of made like a dwarf. I don't know. He's buff though. So anyway, we got like this buff caveman dude with questionable proportions. But like I said, don't you think it did actually follow? It did actually follow it. You know what I mean? That's what's amazing to me. It followed the sprite, which is pretty impressive. Until you realize that Banana Pro does it better. This was the stuff that we were hitting when I was on holiday. We were having like little experiments like this. So I've taken an old sprite sheet, I've untiled it into individual images, I've padded it square with black, and then we've blown it up to 1024, and then we've put that in as the image input with a structured prompt describing caveman with spear, right? And the fun thing is we did the whole sprite sheet. Yeah? We did the whole sprite sheet. I think I put it in somewhere, like images somewhere. That's another one we did. See, legit Thora, legit bike. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's exact. Videos. These are now videos. They're coming out. I should be releasing another one today, actually. Maybe we'll do that in a minute. So lots of Thora on a bike. Where is that one that I was doing? It's funny. It's like it's not here. Did I put it on the inside line? Ah, yeah, I bet I did. Yeah, there it is. Now, you can't see it very well because it's tiny. It is tiny. I shrunk it back down to prove that once you've done it, you can crop it and put it back, right? Now, occasionally you get a chopped off arrowhead or whatever, you know, like occasionally something is going off the edge of the screen, right? And to be honest, the faces were pretty consistent. You wouldn't be shrinking it down to this original size, but the point is you could see for comparison, like it failed to do the throw animation just here. See, it failed to do the throw animation. But walking and all the rest, even raising it, that all worked fine. I know it's like tiny on the screen, guys, I appreciate. But it you know, sprites are tiny. But it was possible to do it. So, yeah, pretty cool. So, yeah, we've been looking at animation and stuff, trying to get frames. Let's see, what's it say here? Zeus. New models don't need much to guess and output great images. I remember I had to generate a large batch just to get one good edit. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Things get better and better over time, so we got to take advantage, is my opinion. All right. So yeah, new workflows. Boom, boom, boom. Hopefully a new TTS backend once we can get that to actually work reliably. It seems like one of my things didn't take. So I'm going to give you guys a little tip. I don't like the word homework, but we're going to say I'm going to give you a little tip. So there is something called download Claude for Windows. Okay. Control-Alt-Space is how you will summon it. And it will be Claude on your computer. Claude in charge. Why are you over there? Come over here. Oi. Come over here. Oi. Oi. Come over here. People need to see. Claude for Windows. Okay? Accept. Accept. Sign in with me. Yes. 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 Open Claude. Right. Now then. Look at it, all the pop-ups. Alright. Quickly chat with Claude. Control-Alt-Space. Click the Anthropic icon in the menu bar. So, I don't know where the menu bar is, I don't see that, but certainly Control-Alt-Space will open up our Claude. Now, oh, there's an incognito mode. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know there's an incognito chat now. That's new. I never even saw that before. So anyway, Claude Code now in desktop preview. So we're not going to mess around. Now, obviously, I've showed you can customize your Claude desktop before. You know, I've written skills and agents you can add. All right. So if I go up here, you can see this there. And I usually go to capabilities and I can add in my skills. So it's already there. Calzone, Unfold, Tins. So those are the three most useful skills I use all the time. You can also add in developer section. You can add in your MCP servers that you have locally. All right, but we're going to go to Claude Code. So at the moment, it's still, yeah, here we go. No, it's not install instructions. It's not that. Click on the tab here. Yeah. So you've got chat, then you've got code. So we're going to install it. So I was showing everybody Claude Code Web recently, which interfaces directly with your GitHub repo. You give it permission and then it just edits direct in the GitHub. So then you can just pull the repo after telling him what to do to it. So you'd load it up, say, this doesn't work, and you tell him and he'd fix it direct in GitHub. But you still needed a bit of Klein and VS Code, right? Now with this, you don't really need Klein and VS Code anymore, because you can have Claude Code do it all with the same processes that we normally use, but kind of better in lots of ways. I don't know, it's kind of interesting. There's so many little nuanced reasons, like you won't have to copy paste logs anymore because he can read them all. You know what I mean? As I was saying earlier, this is kind of making anti-gravity look like, why would I do that? Because I almost don't even need that anymore. We used to do a lot in VS Code, right? And since this, I get him to do it now locally. So he can pick a local folder to work on the computer, and he'll do it locally now, right? So there's no upload, download stuff, no git pull, git clone, branch, none of this. He just does it locally. Now, that's effectively what Klein did. That is what Klein did. You know, Klein basically allowed you to do what this allows you to do, but this is better because I can just go fire and forget. Like, it's not going to be like, this and that all the time, which is annoying sometimes. You just want to get on with it. Now, obviously, it depends how you have it set up, right? And it is still in preview. But yeah, effectively, like I said, I don't like saying the word homework because it's not like that, right? But I would definitely recommend, excuse me, Claude Code with Claude Desktop. This is like my number one recommendation now, because it's made a lot of the stuff I do very painless, and I'm just surprised by how good it is. Now, you can customize, you can do all kinds of stuff, but we'll get into that another day. So let me see, I think that pretty much covers everything. Yo, Steve, put the camera on me. I need to say goodbye to everybody. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining me on a... Oh, Steve! God damn it, Steve. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. I am jumping off. We'll be back tomorrow for episode 299 as we end season 2. All right. Get out there, enjoy your evenings. Thank you very much for joining me. I will see you all tomorrow, 8 p.m. GMT, as always. Till next time.